In this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can build your own Rockabilly. This is a Rockabilly, and it's based off of a full-size buggy built by a guy named Johnny Roca, and he named it the Rockabilly. I admired the design and the look of the chassis a lot, and I wanted to make a scaled down version, and that's what we have here in front of us today. And this is my most recent downloadable build project. My downloadable build projects help get you to the point where you're able to build your own truck like this. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go over how this project is laid out, what's included with it, and what you're going to need to complete everything to build your own Rockabilly. This chassis was designed to be a super flexible platform, but also made to be a direct drop-in for a Vanquish VRD Builder's Kit. All it uses is the builder's kit, the links, suspension, axles, all of that. And all I added was a behind the axle steering mount as well as a stubby kit. And then you get the platform, the basis underneath to get something just like this. Now, this was also designed to be a perfect fit for the Pro Mod class and the WRC Rock rule set. Again, just an easy way to get into that class with a custom chassis. As I mentioned, this is my most recent downloadable build package. This was the last one that I did, and this was the Jimmy's Moon Buggy. This was also a fantastic project that a ton of people have completed and made some really good looking buggies. This was made as a four-wheel steer 1.9 class moon buggy project that just really turned out to be a ton of fun. And this one is just kind of an evolution of that same process and project into a new style, but with some tweaks that I think made this an even better project. When both of these projects started, they were developed as a build along. And what that is as I start a project, I bring in a group of people that's a limited number, and we work through the project together. As I'm completing steps, I share it with them. I share the files that I'm developing with them, and they just build along the steps right alongside me. It's a closed group. I host it on Discord, and we just work through everything as well as get feedback from them, new designs and other items that they create on their own and share with the group. And then I'm later able to share those creations with you guys as well. The Jimmy's Moon Buggy has been available for download to anybody for quite some time, and there's been some amazing ones of these built. This has only been built by the Build Along members so far, and they've done some great work. But now that this is finished, everything's been finalized, details are done, and just figured out, it's ready to be released to the public today. Now, if you interacted at all with the Jimmys, then you'll know how this project goes as well. But if you're not familiar with either, I'm gonna run through what's included in the download, what you're going to need as far as tools and other supplies, things like that, and then just a little bit of some of the extras that are included along with it. The package that's available on my site for purchase is a digital downloads. Inside of the digital download, you'll find folders that break everything down into stages. Chassis construction broken down into multiple stages so that you're able to just kind of walk through it one by one. Also has some documentation that goes with each stage to give you numbers for tubes so that you can keep track of what templates you're provided and where they're going to go on the chassis. So you're able to bend the tube and put it into a 3D printable template to make sure that it's going to fit properly before it goes into one of the 3D printable jigs that are also given so that you know exactly how everything is supposed to fit. And during those chassis construction stages, it also integrates laser cut parts that you're able to purchase through SendCutSend. And those also fit right into the fixtures so that, again, everything is put right where it's supposed to be. It helps keep everything nice and square and just takes out so much of the guessing and the hard part about chassis construction. It just makes it more about focusing on tube fitment and welds and getting everything done well rather than having to look and line up both sides and kind of think about the look as you go. It just makes things so much simpler than the way that we used to do it. The laser cut parts make suspension mounting easier, body panel mounting easier, interior mounting, just everything is kind of thought through so that you don't have to struggle and figure out how you're going to attach one part or the next. Everything will just drop in, screw into place, and it's just there. While constructing the chassis is one huge hurdle, Finishing the truck is another one, and finishing in the way of making it look finished, like body panels and an interior, where the battery's going to go. All of those steps are also included in here. You can purchase body panels that are pre-cut in a couple of different styles. Battery mounting is integrated into this as well. An interior with seats and a dash, servo mount for a dig, a 3D printed engine that sits up front in the proper style and position as the full size, as well as things like a 3D printable hood, or better yet, molds to make your own out of carbon fiber with instructions on how to do so. This one is molded carbon fiber, and this one is a 3D printable version of it as well. And as I mentioned, I created a ton of parts for this, but other members of the build along also created their own modified versions or completely unique versions of files as well. Like there's modified interiors in case you want to change up some styling or add some color to it. There's these nice 3D printed front inner fenders. There's also some mid inner fenders that are available in there. A ton of different parts, and those are all put into a member created files folder inside of that build along. Now I mentioned the SendCutSend parts that are used here. That's the laser cut parts that are used throughout this. Those are available through SendCutSend. You'll just go click the link and order the parts as you need to go along with the chassis. You do need them to finish this build. It is important to get those as they're a big part of how everything is integrated and to make sure the rest of the bits all work with it. Now, SendCutSend doesn't ship all over the world, unfortunately, at least not at this time. They have expanded into different markets, and it's definitely worth checking again if you haven't checked in a while if they ship to you. But if they don't ship to you, you can also purchase those files. They'll be available through Brazen Scale. So you can contact Brazen Scale, and I'll put a link to his contact information down below. But I do not supply the cut files for you to cut yourself, even if you have a laser cutter in your garage. It's just not something I offer, and that's something that I've had to decide on how to do. So make sure you take that into consideration when you're looking at this project. This is a steel tube chassis, so that means you do need a way to build this either with a TIG welder or with brazing. A TIG welder is ideal. And I've done reviews on the YesWelder, the 205P Pro, which is a super inexpensive TIG welder, just a little over $200 at this time. And that's what I recommend. That makes for the best experience when building with these jigs. But there has been a number of people that have brazed these chassis together. So it has been done that way. I haven't personally done it myself though. Along with a TIG welding setup, you'll also need a 3D printer because the jigs that are used for this, as well as the details like the hood and all of those parts, do require you to 3D print them. And for how much 3D printing goes along with this and all the steps of the chassis, it makes sense to purchase your own rather than trying to have it contracted done. Most 3D printers can handle the size of parts that are in this build. I've seen people print everything needed on an A1 Mini. So that's a fairly inexpensive printer from Bamboo Labs. That's a great starting point. I would recommend getting the A1 instead because it is a little bit bigger. So as a minimum, I would recommend the A1, but the A1 Mini will do it. Beyond that, you'll need a way to cut the tubing, a Dremel or a hacksaw. Both of those will do it, an angle grinder, a cutoff wheel, things like that. This tubing is pretty easy to cut, so you don't need anything, any major equipment to get that done. And then you'll need to be able to notch the tubing. Now, the easiest way to do it is a 3/16 chainsaw file. I've done a number of chassis that way myself, and it's pretty easy to not overdo it. It doesn't take that much labor to get through it either. So that's a great way. I'll link to a number of these tools, as many as I can recommend to you, down in the description below to just give you an idea of everything that I'm talking about. You're going to need some M3 and M2.5 taps. I've found some spiral taps on Amazon that I really like, and those are the ones that I would suggest for that. The tubing itself I get from Stock Car Steel, and I'll put a link to exactly what material you should get from them. It is DOM tubing, but it's under the hydraulic tubing on their website, and it's 3/16 inch diameter and 0.035 inch wall thickness. I get it cut to 3 foot lengths, so you will have to select how long you want each stick. 3 foot lengths is just a very easy, manageable length, and it keeps shipping costs pretty reasonable also. You're gonna need a bunch of zip ties. Small, like 4-inch narrow zip ties work best. Just get a big bag, you're gonna use them. Then you are gonna want some PLA filament. specifically PLA. Don't try and go with a different filament because you think it might be a better choice. The PLA is the way to go because when you're welding or even brazing, you're gonna get it hot and it's probably going to melt. Now, PLA easily just you can just kind of push it off, flick it off. If you have to use a little bit of force, it's very light. It's just a soft enough material that it comes right off, cleans up easily. I've seen a number of other people try and print it in a PETG or higher temp or higher strength materials, and basically it'll still melt and then it just is really hard to get off the tubing. So just use regular PLA. Cheap, regular Hatchbox PLA works fantastic. Just trust me, keep it simple. There's a lot to building a custom truck typically, but this just allows you to kind of walk through it like a kit, giving you instructions, and you're gonna learn new skills if you've never done this before. But the people that have done it have done some amazing jobs. People who have never welded a single thing in the past have been able to do it. I've done videos in the past where I did the review of that YesWelder, or I did the long form video where I built this truck here. It was about an hour long or so, and I went through this whole truck from start to finish. And I give you settings for how I set up my TIG welder in both of those videos, and I'll link to both of those to give you that idea. Both of these projects are then just, you can tackle them without ever have built something like this before. There's also a Facebook group just for people who are building or who have built these projects. The Discord is only done during the build along itself. After that, I don't add the people that, download the package again. After that point, the Facebook group is where you go. Tons of people with really helpful bits of information. If you've never done it before, you'll get an answer there. The Rockabilly right now is my absolute favorite though. I'm super proud of how this truck turned out. I just love the style, the size, the fit, the interior, everything about it. I think that it is my just most polished setup so far. There's a number of things that were built into this for adjustment in case you want to go to a portal axle setup instead. There's going to be things that are continuously developed and made available so that you can change things up. Right now, I am running the Pricey's Customs shocks for this. And if you want to get with Pricey's Customs, he can get you the exact setup for these shocks. I initially told him what I was doing to build this and, gave him a roundabout guesstimation of all of the different specs that he typically asks for. And then he developed the shocks for this project. And you can just ask him for Rockabilly shocks and he'll probably be able to take care of you on that. When I did assemble this, I did mount the shocks instead of in the upper shock hole. They're down next to the links on the outside of the link mounts. And I am using an offset rod end from him. But again, he'll know what that entails and he'll be able to get you taken care of on that. Those are just some of the fine details though. Some of the other little specs on this before we close out this video. I'm running a Holmes V3 Crawlmaster ESC. I'm running a Holmes 540M Outrunner. This has got a Reefs 800 LP steering servo up front. I've got a raw 100 steering or servo on the VFD Dig that I have installed on the standard VFD transmission. These are KMC impact wheels with some BFG crawlers on there currently. And that, it gives you this carbon fiber hood was actually molded for me by one of the build along members, Racing Case. He did a fantastic job. I didn't have time. I actually was in the middle of finishing this up as we decided that we were going to move. So all of my focus had to go into the move rather than some of this. That's why the release of this project is so delayed. This truck should have been done around December. And now it's the middle of April. So things that go along with a house. So apologize for the delay. I know there's been a lot of people who've been waiting for this. If you have questions or comments or just need some reassurance that you can do it, it's there. I'll help get you through it as best I can. It is worth noting that I built all of this plugged into a standard 110 volt wall outlet. So it doesn't take a crazy built out shop. It just needs a safe place to do the TIG welding. TIG welding is much cleaner and less intrusive than something like MIG or arc welding, anything like that. It's pretty clean. Even brazing is a bit more intense. TIG is just nice and quiet and soothing. It's like a whole nother level. It's just a great way of relaxing even for me. So again, I hope that some of you really enjoy this. I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this same vehicle. Nothing makes me happier than seeing these things when they're done from other people. And this year, the theme from Proline by the Fire is Rockabilly, which I'm thinking we're going to have to figure out something special to see a bunch of Rockabillys at that event. So hope to see some of you there. Hope to see some of you in a couple of weeks at Beat the Creek, because I'm planning to bring this truck to Beat the Creek. That's going to be my main ride that comes along with me. So it's going to do it for this one. As always, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, drop them down below. I'll be happy to answer as many of them as possible. But that's going to do it for this one. I'm super excited. I'm sure you can tell. But with that, thanks again for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. You can join the channel membership if you want more in-depth behind the scenes. We talked a lot about this over the last 3, 4 or more months at this point, even with exactly what was going on. So love to have you guys over there. Thanks to all the channel members already as well. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.